Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome. My name is Nori. I'm coming to you live from the digital engineering server. This is modded Minecraft Valhelsia 3, and this is our mess. So we're going to pick up where we left off at with the community night last night. I think we'll do a little bit of building, but not too much. It's not really, there are some projects to get involved with still, but I think we're actually just going to be winding down the end of our Valhelsia series. Yeah. So a couple things I did want to get done before we got out of here was our Wellness and Success Center. We started last week on it. Can't wait for the server to catch up. Network latency being what it is. There we go. We started working on this last week. We got a lot really done. Okay. Good. Didn't desync. So last week we worked on building in our railroad tracks, which I thought turned out rather well. I like the look of it. So I think today we will put in the actual train, which shouldn't take very long. We just need to design what that thing's going to look like. And then, yeah, pretty much call it a day. So let's see if we have any mine carts. Do not. Let's go find our crates. Here they are. I don't want that crate. We might want that crate. We'll see. We'll see if there's a minecart in here. If not, there's at least... Oh, there's a minecart right there. I'm blind. Let's see. We'll need that. We'll need that. We also need a rail. There we go. On rail. All right. So we'll slap this down here. There we go, like that, and like that. And we are now ready to start building our train. It's important to keep attention to the direction of the arrow that designates the front of the cart. Good to know. So what we need... let's see. You know what we need? It's not a piece of grass. I want my super glue. And let's get ourselves some blocks. What are we thinking? A white block would do really well. Some white concrete. Let's see about some panes. We will want want some seats. I think white seats is a little too much. So maybe... Oh, we can use any seat we want. Basically just wool and slab. So that works out well. Let's see how much wool we have. We got lots of different color wool. Let's go with this. This color will work. There's some slabs. We'll make her an 8-seater. All right. So the first thing we want to do is a base. So our yeah, we'll start right here. So there goes the first piece. Now the thing that we will be doing is an awful lot of super gluing, right? Oh, nice. That's right. I forgot. If you put it in your offhand, then it auto super glues for you. Makes life easy. Right, so 1, 2, 3. So we're 2 on the other side. So it's a 5 wide. Yep. 1, 2, 1, 2. So it sits just right there. It'll cover blue. That's good. So this will be our base. And I'm thinking I should probably put something on that allows me to get up a little higher. There we go. So maybe that's the thing that we do. Don't really need that. So we pull it like this. Yeah. And then we can glass pane. All right, so like, oops. We'll leave a door on either side. So then the other thing we need are some of our seats. So we'll do double seat, skip, and then another double seat. And then back to the train. I'm just thinking that the back end of the train needs a... So we'll do just like that, like that, like that. Maybe, oops, ran out of concrete. That's all right, we got plenty. Some white stained glass will do good too. Some more. Yeah, I'm just thinking a big white train. I don't know why, it just appeals to me. So I'm going to do it. So the first train that actually has a roof on it. Now, we'll know we've got this right, because we should be able to now grab our wrench. Thinking what we need here is the white glass. Let's just put this right back in there like that. Much better. And we should be able to just pick it up. All right. Well, that didn't take long at all. Not that I expected it to. And not that we were trying to go for, you know, an amazing looking train. I wanted a train here to finish this off. If somebody doesn't like it, they're welcome to come back through and change it to something else. I am perfectly happy to have that occur too. But for me, I'll drop that in. There we go. And we're off. So this works nicely because it gives you... we shouldn't run into the same problem that we had last time, but maybe we might. We'll see. So last time I got picked up and moved out of the train during the trip. It was not ideal. Yeah. Like that. Ugh. Okay. All right. So we ride. We'll just sit here and enjoy the nice, quiet, comfortable ride. Maybe I should have made it 3 high. I don't know. Back here, train. Can't escape me. That's impressive, though. I'll come back here. There we go. Right. Stop hitting the wrong buttons, Nori. This would work out better. Okay. We're just gonna ride this back out. Yeah, so, I don't know, maybe we should have made the chain 3 wide, 3 tall. It might work out a little better. It's definitely got me standing in the train. But okay. It's a train. Well, it's a shuttle anyways. It's something you can ride in. Do I have stairs? Because that would be a nice little added touch right here. You know, stairway to walk in. Excuse me, sir. Sir, no. We're not interested, thank you. Pushy salesman. Alright, so there, that took like next to no time. So that would be the finishing touches, as far as I'm concerned. Have a way back to the central hub. It is does pain me a little to admit that it looks like we've reached the end of our journey together, at least for the Valhelsia server. We've done some really interesting things, and I would absolutely invite every one of you to go back through and watch some of the history. You can catch it all on YouTube if you like. Some really interesting and cool things. That being said, that is not the end of the digital engineering SMP. So we are going to be starting our season 2 just as soon as we get a map decided on, which I'm hoping in the next couple of days we'll have that. And so we'll be deploying that out there. So for the rest of this, we're just going to let a little music play. And we're just going to, I don't know, meander about, I suppose. Time flies. So now you're trying to think, is there anything extra we want to add to this room? Final touches. Should probably take the time to fix that. But I don't know that it's really necessary. You know what would be nice right here? Just because I can. There. Little touch of sigh. I have no idea what the sugarcane farm looks like. It's doing all right. Here's our ultimate crafter. It will make any recipe that we need it to. We just got to remove the plates. Floating seed, sugar. Yeah, it's just basically it's waiting on chickens. Stubborn birds. It's all right. Get yourself some sweet rolls whenever you want them. There's some chocolate for your sweet tooth. Can send this happy little joker all the way through. And it should actually, yeah, that'll lock it on this side. There we go. We'll get that arm moving one last time. Make it a little bit more chocolate bars. Just because we can. It's just... We solved for a lot of things. We answered a lot of questions. I like this room. It's a good room. This was the room that we put in. The stone golem from Blue Skies. And these little jokers gave us lots and lots of little green rocks and lots of vines that we could later in turn around and use for things. There's our tree farm. It's not... I mean, the tree's growing. They're just not growing super fast anymore. I haven't bothered to fill up the mana pool to feed the agri carnations because it's just not really been worth the trouble. Lots of dried kelp. It apparently does some fishing too on the side. Which is just comical, but okay. Not certain what to really do with that. Guess we could turn this off. We don't need it anymore. Suppose we could go downstairs and turn that off. Just, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. I'm just kind of walking around, looking at things, going, oh yes, I remember this. I remember that. I think one of these, oh, I left it on. Whoops. That's all right. Is that? Yeah, there it is. So we wanted wither skulls. And the wither skulls were important because the wither skulls feed our wither skeleton machine maker. Which then in turn makes other stars, and just, yeah. Lots of fun. We've captured a lot of interesting things. You know, there's a summoner from Blue Skies. We've captured him, stuck him in our little glass area. One of those I always consider coming back through and redoing some of these rooms so that it would feel more natural to the mobs that we were spawning in them. Like, you know, there's the Iron Golem from Twilight Highlands. I really like the graphics on these guys. These guys look really cool. Just never had, there's a lot of things to do. And this was our stasis chamber, and I kept meaning to come back in here and put everything back in place so that we could do more ether gas farming should we decide to. And it's not like I don't have the resources to make it. Just I don't want to have to deal with another chunk loader in the area and everything else, and trying to get everything to line up. And really, we're not even using the ether gas. I made like 46 buckets worth of ether gas, and I've not touched it at all. It's just not been a big deal. These are all of our small minion spawners. So each one of them has a little doorway right there so you can get in and swap them out. This is part of the Hall of Villainy. And I think at one point I was trying to figure out if I could condense this down to like single units, and then you can just ask for, have like a little wall switch on the wall here that would shuffle in and out the different mob balls and allow you to spawn different things. Never got around to it. Not even certain if I'm even curious to get around to it anymore. It's just not been... Made all these rooms, and then I really just have not used them a whole lot. I can't tell you how many hours we spent just standing around in this room, building up, making fissile fuel, converting to fissile fuel, making polonium. Oh, it was weeks of working in here and tuning and tweaking and getting it just so, and being very careful with all the radioactive material, which, by the way, is if you leave them in these barrels, they do go away after a while. It's just a really long time. Of course, it's now hooked up right now so that the the nuclear waste that comes out of this gets converted into polonium and then goes straight over to our antimatter reactor. But there is a switch right here that you could technically turn it on, and it would go over here to the pressurized reaction chamber with the fluorite dust to make polonium pellets. Yes, sir, polonium pellets. They're polonium something. Palladium. That is polonium pellets. Yeah, I actually had the name right. There you go. So that's still in place. It's still a functional working thing. And this handles keeping the water from that gets generated from the heat and the steam. This actually just produces extra power that was an awful lot of power when I initially built this thing. And then when I built this, this kind of became, well, redundant. It wasn't even necessary anymore. And getting this so that the reaction rate was just so worked out really well. As you can see, it's stable right now because I'm just not my injection rates. I suppose it could be higher. We could bump it to 12. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. That would raise the heat, raises the temperature, and then raises our passive generation. So we're doing an air-cooled, could do water-cooled, and that would produce a bunch of steam, and you could run it into a really large steam turbine. But again, it's this thing when you do water-cooled, it's 600 kFE per tick. But you generate an awful lot of steam that gets turned around and converted into power, and so that produces an awful lot of power. As it sits right now, we're generating just air cool passively 2.4 million FE per tick. I don't have anything that uses that much power other than the antimatter reactor. And I can't generate polonium fast enough to need I suppose we could have gone with a bigger fission reactor, more solar neutron activators, and we could get to a point where we could generate enough polonium to make enough antimatter fast enough. But it was never really a big thing. This was something nice. It generated power in both places, and took care of all of our power needs, and slowly built up the antimatter we needed for our mech suit, for our tools, for all of our various things that we were building and playing around with. So it's just not a thing to worry about. Humorous plots. Our first stabs at relocating spawners. So I grabbed like 4 blaze spawners. They don't seem to want to spawn much anymore. It's probably got something to do with mob caps or something like that, because over our next to it, there's a skeleton spawner with a bunch of druid skeleton spawners from the Twilight Highlands, and those things just rain skeletons down. This one should have zombies. Yep. This is creating liquid meat, and well, technically it's not creating any liquid meat because it's filled up. But, you know, pink slime, I think, is the other thing that we're getting off from that. We're basically converting all of the bone from here into bone blocks and bone meal. I have got so much of this stuff. I'm just, yeah. Bone meal king. And we're converting all like torchberries to bone meal. And we're throwing away all of the gold armor and everything because we just don't need it. So much stuff, and we just don't need it. It's just so much garbage. But we call the place Humorous Plots because essentially it's just a big giant bone farm. We also have over here our teleporter to Twilight Highlands. I think right about here-ish somewhere, I had the portal to the desert place, Atum. The problem with that one was every time I go through it and come back, it raises the teleporter by a block. And so it basically was self-digging its way out of the mountain. This was my portal to the Everdawn. This one also had the same problem where it would just keep respawning higher and higher. So I just don't use them anymore. We put waystones down over in the other places, and so there's just not a need to use those teleporters anymore. Middle of somewhere takes us out down here. This used to be Shale's old place. That was so long ago. I kind of left it exactly as she last touched it. So nothing's been moved since she was last here. This is when she was here doing an awful lot of help building up the colony that's here. Yeah. Good times, good times. Mostly expensive kits. So this is all of the, like there's our antimatter making machine. The supercritical phase shifter. It has no polonium in order to make antimatter, and there's a little bit of antimatter in the crystallizer, but not nearly enough. And so, there you go. This is our 5x multiplier system. So we start here, goes through dissolution, it comes over here. Now I set this up so that if I was making a large amount, because there was a couple of times where I was making like lots of iron, like tons of iron. And so it was actually more iron that was getting backlogged in the system. And so this would be filled with iron slurry. this would have been backed up with iron slurry. This was backed up with iron slurry. It was iron slurry in the pipes. This was backed up, and no matter what upgrades I put in this thing, it just wasn't fast enough. So I set it up so that we could run in 3 more crystallizers and be able to turn them on and off as we needed. That actually improved rates, so it helped to reduce the backup jam. It's literally, this became the point of congestion. We just could not crystallize it fast enough. And there's probably room to expand this even further, so you could take and set this up so this could do like 8 or 9 or 20 or whatever. Because from here, the rest of this is easy. So you could set it up so that you could, every one of these slots could be fed from a crystallizer, and or even 2 crystallizers. And as long as you have the auto sort on, then it'll spread it around and it chews through it pretty quickly. I didn't ever have a problem getting past this point. It was just getting this machine to work fast enough. But there's our brine for our crystalline generator, our crystalline chlorine generator. So all of this was used to do a lot of chemical stuff. That's part of mechanisms. Really a fun little thing to play around with. Kind of felt like a chemist there for a little bit. This was supposed to have been concrete making machine using Create. But I never got around to finishing up because I didn't need it anymore. But we did want the dye system in here, so we have been using dye. This works out really well. And that is just being fed from the bone meal farm. We have some deployers, and they're literally just bone mealing these 3 flowers over and over again, which creates lots of red, blue, and green dye, which is what you need to feed the dye mixers, which then just produces all the dye you could ask for. Now, not all of this is routed back into my storage system. I have one point thought about doing that, and I just don't know why I never finished it up. I just didn't. I've bought it right up against my old iron farm. I feel like down on the other side there is a external storage adapter. No, it's an importer. Okay. Which is fine. You can absolutely do importers all the way across, and then feed the whole system via importers, and then import all of the dye into the system. Leave this running nonstop, and you would have an infinite supply of the various odd dyes that you could ask for. I never finished doing all of that because I didn't want to have to deal with trying to store it somewhere. And I really wasn't using dye all that much. So the little bit of dye that was in the machines and a walk over there, pull it out of the machine was good enough. This was our magic area. One of the things that I always kind of missed about Valhelsia 3, which I thought was the mod packs were really stable. Really enjoyed a lot about it. But for a mod pack that's supposed to be magic and tech, it felt like there was more emphasis on the tech side of the house and less on the magic. Don't get me wrong, Botania is in here. It's a great form of magic. Blood magic is in here. That's an interesting take on it. The Psi gun is in here. That's a form of magic effects-ish. They put in Forbidden Arcanus. There's Eidolon in here. I was a little disappointed that this never worked. This recipe for creating the crafter was supposed to sit up here. Even after multiple attempts, it never worked. But, you know, it is what it is. It just, yeah, this always felt like it was just a little lacking on the magic side. Some of the more interesting magic mods that are available out there, I thought would have been nice to have it in here. On the whole, I'm not upset with the mod pack. The mod pack's been very well. It's been very stable. It's been very well curated. I've talked with Valhelsia a couple of times. Him and his group have done a really good job of keeping this thing up to snuff. So if you're ever looking for one to play with, I would suggest, you know, coming and visiting in Valhelsia 3. It's interesting. It's fun. There's definitely a lot of possibilities that you can do here. For me, my journey has ended. I have seen all there is to see. I have played with all of the different things. We've had some really cool people on the server, and in this community and on this map. They have built some absolutely wild things. Put their own little spin on things. We've had fun. We've laughed. And so it's been great. It's been a great journey. And I'm looking forward to season 2 and our next big journey. So what is happening in season 2? Season 2 is going to be another mod pack. With this one specifically, we're curating. And so it's being curated by I just teleported back to the same place. It's being curated by the digital engineering community. So season 2 will look to be really interesting. I can't wait to see what people do, who shows up, who's playing, who's not, and what comes about all of this. It's very fun to walk back through some of this stuff. So like this is Zodicus's base. The author, as it were, of the Go Big, Go Home statement that we used to talk about all the time. Yeah, he made my Hall of Villainry, he made it look kind of small. His is definitely much bigger. It looks cooler. He's definitely the better builder between the two of us. Very cool. He had his mine colony over there. His base and his walls of activities. These are just... It was a very interesting take he had on all of this stuff. His ant farm. I always thought that was cool. Oh, look, the mama ant is out, as it were. The queen. There you go. Mama ant. The queen ant's out. It's the first time I've seen her out and about. Interesting. Yeah, it's always the thing about coming to Zoda's place. Night vision is a thing. You're wearing your night vision, you're not going to see too much. His wiring is still probably my favorite thing about this place. Is the way he wires all of his stuff. It's great. His create room, which is far and away much bigger than mine. And he got to the point where he didn't need stuff anymore, so he just started throwing it all away. So that was pretty funny. So underneath each one of these farms that are still in operation, as they harvest things. They're just, yeah, dumping them off into lava buckets. It's just fantastic, I suppose. I mean, if you don't need them anymore, but you still want to leave the farms going, you want to actually be able to walk in and see the stuff going on, it works out well. This was his form of the precision mechanism, which is just fun. He liked the idea of just being able to... So he was catapulting. So as you can see, the little piece flies across and comes back through. Different than the way I did mine. I did mine with a helping hand, and I would just pick it up and recycle it back through. He's also done this extra step that I didn't do with mine, which is he's actually filtering out the end results of the things that he doesn't want, or he doesn't want gumming up the system. So if for whatever reason the making the precision thing fails, then he's got a way to keep that failure from ending up back in that infinite loop that occurs at my place. So definitely clever. He's definitely taken that one step further than I did. I kind of got it and was happy with it, and I said, hey, it's good enough. It's pretty funny. And so this was Christmas. We did handed out Christmas gifts, and everybody got offers for free technical contraptions. And so we built this on a stream for him. This is his flying earthenware materials because he needed a clay ball generator. And this guy was made 5,252 clay balls, or 1,300 clay blocks, since we put it together, and it's been running. Just looks like a big Harlem Globetrotter stick. It's kind of funny. We're just passing stuff all over the place. Very satisfying to watch. Yeah. Lots of good times. Lots of interesting things that everybody has built. We've come together and built together. But everything comes to an end. So there you go. So I would keep an eye out. I think as soon as we get a map settled in place, we will do a let's not go out here. There we go. Oh yes, the doors mysteries, and of course Shale's missing bedrolls. We still have not found all of Shale's missing bedrolls, by the way. I don't know that we'll ever find the rest of them, but they're out there somewhere. They are out there. Let's see, do we have item frames here? We've got plenty of item frames here. All right. So for people that are interested, we will be putting up a world download. So you're welcome to come and check out and see what all we've done and played around with. Really. Okay, good. I didn't leave anything in that. So as an effort to be, helpful and transparent and everything else, we'll put in all of our favorite tools where people can get their hands on them. And of course, some of these things you can't actually use, unfortunately. So like some of the rings from Britannia, they're soulbound to me, so you won't be able to get your hands on them, but they'll be here anyways. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, there it is. Ooh. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Where'd I put that? There we go. I thought these guys should have some fun little spots. These were both fun to play with. There. But, there's nothing stopping, if you come in, there's nothing stopping you from, again, really horribly bad with that. There we go. I think that's everything. Yep. Nothing left in the chest. No, nothing left in the chest. Storage. Everything is wide open. Nothing hidden, nothing tucked away. It's all where it is. You should be able to find it. If you want to go lava surfing, there's a lava surfboard. I left some food in the fridge. Help yourself. I think there's some food in the cupboards down here somewhere. Yeah. The kitchen has stuff in there so you can cook so you won't go hungry. But yeah. So that's going to do it. It is going to be the end of our season 1. I put next time you come back by and visit, we will be on season 2. It'll be a new world. Yes, it will be exciting, won't it, Zodicus? Wow. How have you been, my friend? I understand that feeling. I've been working a lot too. It's all good. It's all good. It's fine. Just kind of settling in. Wow. Somebody actually hopped in. Been really quiet here on the server the last couple of weeks. I haven't really seen a whole lot of much of anybody. It's all good. But there we go. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see y'all next time. I'm going to close the stream out early today. I got some things that I take care of. Take care. See you next time.